Okay, welcome along to another one of our City sit-downs. Krystyna Freda is another one of our first-team signings over the summer period on loan. Looking forward to the Wolfsburg game in the Champions League. Krystyna Freda, a player that maybe fans will remember against Glasgow City a couple of years ago. Krystyna, great to have you at Glasgow City. I'm sure a lot of excitement for the Wolfsburg game. How are you finding Glasgow so far?
I'm having a great time here. It's really nice atmosphere, like coming into the trainings and everything. It's not like I'm coming in mid-season where it's kind of hard to get into the team actually, because of COVID, everyone's been shut down and the team just started training kind of a week before, like in small groups. So it was really just coming in fresh. There's a couple new players as well, and I feel like really welcomed, and everyone's been really awesome. Glasgow in general is beautiful. I've enjoyed walking around and getting to see the sights and the scenery and everything. So yeah, so far it's been amazing.
What have you seen in Glasgow? What sites have you enjoyed so far in your tour?
So I kind of just walk around a lot. I'm staying in the Clarkson area, so I go down the main street and I go for coffee. Yesterday we had to go for some testing, and so we walked from the big stadium, Hampden Park, all the way to Queens Park. So that was really cool, like to just walk through like a whole area and just see all the different things there are. Just like little things, to be honest, like the flowers or the architecture and stuff like that. I kind of enjoy that. So really cool.
Good stuff. And because you mentioned there is two or three other new players, and even I'm almost counting the players that joined the club in January, February, because we've just had one game which is now null and void, and then this huge gap. So there's probably about 6 players that are kind of new in, even if they've been kind of training for a few months. So have you been able to bond with them? I'm almost like a newbies club.
Yeah, kind of. We have like a group chat with some of the players where we like arrange to like do stuff. One day we went over to Devil's Pulpit, which was really cool, and a lot of the new girls were there as well with some of the existing players already. So it was really good bonding. I mean, even just like coming into the team, like I had some messages from girls before I even came, like that were established players. Like Haley Water sent me a message, which is really awesome, just to kind of introduce herself. And I feel like all the girls, we feel really welcomed. And yeah, I wouldn't say we've made our own little group. We've kind of just made a really big group of people that
Mm.
are just wanting to hang out and like do stuff. So that's really awesome.
How are you finding the whole kind of testing, training at the moment?
Um, so specifically about testing, I think psychologically I had kind of convinced myself it was going to be so bad, like sticking something up your nose and it's going to be, but actually it was like really not as bad as I thought it was going to be. We right now we're testing once a week, but since we're going to start playing games soon, it's going to be twice a week. So we test like right before training, then we just go to training. It's like a 10-second test in total, so it's really nothing hard. And so it doesn't like really seem like it's putting too much of a damper on everything. But I know for the club it is a big expense, and we're really lucky to have the sponsor come in that helped us with that, or else we wouldn't even be able to go to Wolfsburg, and I wouldn't be here, or to go play Wolfsburg. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. I know. I know living with a nurse. Like she just talks about tests in the back of the throat, and it's like it sounds horrendous, but it has to be done. And it's probably not as bad once you've had it at least once or twice.
yeah.
So you're obviously in Glasgow. You've came from Cyprus on loan. You've played a lot of your career, in Europe. Where did your kind of love for football start? What's kind of your path, your footballing journey?
So I started playing when I was like 5. I did like a bunch of sports like growing up. I played basketball, which I was terrible at, like horseback riding, even ice skating, figure hockey, or figure skating, ice hockey. Um, what else? I did like everything, swimming, track, but I was always best at football, and that's kind of like where my passion was. So yeah, since I was 5, I've been playing. I started academy when I was maybe 10, 11, 12 years old, something like that. And it just kind of spiraled from there. I got a scholarship to go to college, and that was amazing. And then from there, I just went pro. And I kind of always knew, like from my 15 years old, I knew I wanted to play pro. Like that was always my dream. And I'm from New Jersey, and we had Sky Blue there. Like even though the leagues have changed, the team's always been there. So I remember just growing up, I was going to all the games and like seeing all my idols. And like the first time I ever saw Marta play, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be her. Granted, I'm not a number 10, so like that didn't happen. But yeah, no, I've just always loved football. It's something about it that I don't know gives me so much joy. Like I'm that type of player. Like I don't really want training to end. I just want to stay there. I just want to play more. Unless it's a fitness day, then yeah, I definitely want that to end.
Um, you're coming from a different perspective because in America, the women's games has been ahead of the curve perhaps in other parts of the world. But I guess even from when you were in your teens, it's probably even grown a heck of a lot since then, and we're seeing it growing in in Scotland and Europe. But I guess even in America, it's probably grown a lot even since you were playing as a youngster.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I was playing or when I was growing up, I believe the first league that I went to actually see was probably the WPS in America. And then that league folded when I was in college. And I was kind of upset because I was like, well, if you don't play in America, like, what do you do? And then that was the first time I actually realized that players actually play abroad. Like, there's other countries that have women's soccer football leagues. And so I always wanted to play in America, but after, talking to some people growing up and like after college, when I had some professional experience with like the Thorns, I went to their preseason camp and I spoke with Paul Riley and he told me that, look, you need to go play abroad. Like, that's where I see you, like your style of play. I want you to go there and to get experience because I think it'll be so great for you. And so that was kind of the moment when I decided like really I wanted to go abroad because, it's so much different over here. And you're right, like even the changes from when I've grown up in America to now, and even from like Cyprus when I arrived there to now. And I've heard about Scotland. I have friends that have played here. I have one friend who played here in 2016, and even from then to now, the change is extreme, extreme. Like players, they weren't getting paid; they had to find their own housing. Whereas now, teams have sponsors; they have money coming in because people are investing in the game, and it's amazing to see that.
Let's say the fans will remember you from particularly the second leg when you scored at Petershill Park, and it was a tough game that night. The first leg was a bit of a chaotic game because there was a couple of red cards. Remember, Glasgow City won 2-0. It was a game where Glasgow City deserved to win, but it was a bit chaotic. The second leg, it was a very tight game. Barcelona got the early goal, and then City, the home side, were kind of wouldn't say hanging on, but it was that way where it was a kind of tough conclusion. I've talked to City players in the past, and the head coach Scott as well. When City have played in the group stage, they've kind of maybe perhaps played better in the competition because they've had momentum. Because there've been some years where they went straight into the knockout round. Did that perhaps help? Take it so close against Glasgow City in that run because you won your group, you played well, and you kind of had 3 games at least under your belt before you got to the knockout round.
Oh, I think so for sure. Because it was our first like European experience, and in our group we played with Minsk, who's again like the Glasgow of Belarus. They win like every year, so we knew that they were going to be a really hard team, and like that was our goal. We went in there, we're like, all right, we're going to prepare. We know Minsk is going to be our last game, so we need to do what we need to do before, so we can go and in that last game just try to get through to the next round. And so we kind of had that mentality of like, we're going in and we need to win from that point even. So we were already kind of in that state, where we were going in the matches, we knew we had to win and we were going home. So yeah, I think it did help in the round of 32. I think the lack of experience in the European style games with the championship, it was that we weren't used to it was really what kind of let us down in the round of 32, that first game, because it was something like no one ever experienced before. So we were kind of, I wouldn't say unprepared. Like, I think mentally we were unprepared. Like, we thought we were going to go in and just play another game, but it was really so much more than that. And so, we did concede a goal really early to Glasgow. Haley just sliding in there on the corner.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, like you said, there was just like red cards, and it was really tense. And you could kind of tell, like, we felt during the game, I think that we weren't really prepared for what kind of level it was going to be at. So then when we did come to Glasgow, we did have an idea of what it was going to be. And we were like, all right, we need to come in here and we're going to just do what we can. And yeah, we were lucky to get a goal. I do think if we had one really good chance from one of my teammates with 1-1. And I think if we would have scored that, to be honest, and I've told the girls here, if we would have scored that, I think we would have won the leg. But I mean, we'll never know. That's how it happened. But yeah, that was just an awesome experience. And that experience was kind of the reason I wanted to come here now, is because I had spoken with Scott, and I already appreciated his style of coaching and the way that he runs his teams from before. So it was nice kind of already knowing him and knowing how he coaches. That helped me come here and feel comfortable.
So you've talked about the ambition, the dream, the quarterfinals. You must be, I guess, now mega excited the prospect of playing, the superstars of Wolfsburg.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, everyone's really excited, and I really hope that other people have the same mentality I have. It's that, now I think Glasgow is in a really good position because we we aren't playing two legs. We're not playing home and away. We're going there, we're playing 90 minutes. And, you know, they might be some of the best players in Europe, but in 90 minutes of football, anything can happen. So I think everyone's kind of got that mentality that we're going in there and like anything can happen. If we show up and we play great, then we're going to have this really good outcome, hopefully. So that's kind of the mentality we're going in with. But yeah, for me, this is, and I guess a lot of players on the team, this might be like the biggest match that we ever play in our careers. So I think just the excitement, you know, we're talking about it all the time. We're, you know, watching film on our own and then coming together to talk about it. So you can just see the buzz and the excitement that is inside everyone.
Yeah, you mentioned the fact it's one leg, and I mean, I think back to the recent German Cup final with Wolfsburg were taken all the way to penalties. So one game, it's a neutral venue as well. I mean, it's still extremely tough, but you know, if you put in the performance of life, it's a bit like how Glasgow City did in the first leg in Brøndby in the last round. Then there is perhaps that glimmer of chance there.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, you know, everyone's kind of been off. It'll definitely be hard because obviously Glasgow City has been not really training for a month, but also Wolfsburg had a really rough stretch of the last couple of months of finishing all their games. And you're right, you could kind of see the tiredness in them from having not really played and then going right back into games. And then, you know, they tied Bayern, they tie with Essen. So, you know, I think there is opportunities if we watch the film and we do what we're supposed to that we can hopefully capitalize on. But I mean, you can't ever discredit them with the amount of quality players they have. So, I mean, yeah, the best thing we can do is just go in there and be prepared as we can and give it everything we have.
Well, fingers crossed that you and everyone gives it 110%. I know you will, and hopefully, you know, there could be a shock, and we'll wait and see. Best luck for when the game comes round, and we'll wait watching on supporting.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.